everyone. I have a question on Formspring that I'm gonna vlog really quick. It's been sitting in there for a little while. Kaylee gave it to me. It's a good one, and it's do I attach any memories to any specific Hanson songs, whether they're good or bad memories? And I have a few. Luckily, they're all good memories. Well, most of them. But I'm gonna go in order of release with this. I'm gonna start out with "A Minute Without You." It's one of my favorite Hanson songs, and I before I saw them in August of this last year in 2010, um, it'd been a long time since I'd seen Hanson when I was like really into him type of thing. And when they started playing this song at one of the shows, I actually was like I got kind of like teeny bopper, like choked up a little. Where I wasn't like freaking out or anything. So I wasn't like that, but I did kind of, have to like wipe a little tear away, and that was funny. It just made me like feel young again. It was so cool to hear that song live. It was my first favorite Hanson song. So that's always, I think that song that was always gonna remind me of that whole experience with those concerts that weekend in August. It was just so fun. So that's that memory, and then I think I have Weird on my list too. I never super duper connected with this song, and I think it's cool now, and even the video I can look back on now, and I think it's a lot cooler now than what I can appreciate it now more than I could back then. But I remember the day it premiered on MTV Live with Carson Daly, who I'm like more and more as the days go on. I hate him. I used to love him. But I remember we had a snow day from school, and even my parents and my brothers and who are older, they were all home from college and all that stuff. And I got to see the video because I didn't have to go to school that day. Like when it aired, I wouldn't have been home from school yet. So I thought that was kind of like a nice little thing. And that whole day, like my family, we just stayed in and just played board games and stuff because we didn't go anywhere, and it's just a nice memory, and I'm glad that I can attach the premiere of what now could probably be considered Hanson's best video, most conceptually interesting video, I guess. I'm glad I can kind of match those things up together. So then I've cried on the list. I don't know. I remember being like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, "A Minute Without You." I think "Cried" might take your title as my favorite Hanson song. I just need to like hear that song live. I think it'd be awesome. Then what else do I have? I have "Never Let Go" on the list. I remember it wasn't until a couple years ago that I heard the song in its entirety. I remember in high school or something, you remember wave clips like .wav? I got like this really grainy, like partial clip of this song. And I was like, oh my god, this song is awesome. I can't really hear it because it's a piece of crap, file. But probably back in those days, a 30-second clip took like 4 hours to download too. I remember like, oh, I would really like to hear this song. So that when I finally heard it for the first time, I was like, oh my god. It only heard maybe about a minute and a half of, the original way that's kind of like going around on the internet. And so that whole song now, I'll never forget when I heard that for the first time. That was so great. And it makes me feel nostalgic for high school and AOL. Screw AOL. It was so boring. Oh, what was everyone's screen names? I don't have any of my old screen names. But anyway, then I have "Save Me" on the list. I took a lot of music classes in high school, and I took one that was like just music theory class, and we had to do a presentation on a song and a band, and I used "Save Me" as the song that I wrote about, and I wrote about Hanson, and I was in a class with like a bunch of guys who were like, yeah, I'm gonna write about like Metallica, and like I went up there to talk about Hanson, and I'm like, so this band is great, and they're all sitting there like, this girl is such a teeny bopper. But I spoke with integrity, and I gave it my all, and I got an A on the paper, so, you know, those guys can suck it. But, I used Save Me, because that's right when, like, This Time Around came out, and I probably wouldn't have chosen that song if I had to redo it, but I liked that song at the time, so that just reminds me of, like, the first time I went up and for a presentation and really kind of stood up for something I really believed in, you know, backed it up, and people had to sit there and listen to me do it. So, and then last on my list is Underneath. The whole album, I don't know, a couple years ago, I went through, you know, some hard times, all that, and it wasn't until then that I really connected with that album, and so I just didn't relate to it. There are a lot of melancholy type songs on there that are a little sadder, and I just never really related to the material until a couple years ago, so I'm glad that I did kind of go through those things. I think it helped me grow as a person. This song Broken Angel is really special to me. Just the story in it. It's very, it's sad, but it's also uplifting at the same time. It's a little bit of both. And, yeah, that's that. And I can't really say that any, like, The Walk or Shout It Out can trigger any specific memories just yet because they're still so new. I didn't really even listen to The Walk until a couple years ago, so yeah, that's my answer. I'm running about 7 minutes, so sorry. But thanks for tuning in, and thanks again for the question, and I want to get a couple more under my belt, so I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon. And check out my Tumblr, too. Tumblr, I started one, jumping on the bandwagon, so see you guys. Uh-oh.